Time Ram!
I would like to apologise for the perhaps less than perfect quality of part of this production. But you must remember that death comes to us all, as it did to the original master tape of this program. We hope it does not temper your enjoyment too much.
Larry, it's Fraser. Only joking, we're not Fraser. We're Time Ram, the podcast that takes a randomly selected doctor and physically inserts them into a randomly selected story. And you're not Larry, unless you are Larry, in which case, hi Larry. My name's Paul Ferry, and I'm joined in this venture by my regular co-host, Barry Williams.
Hello.
And Rupert Booth.
Let's do the Time Ram again. Why have I not ever thought of that before now?
Yeah.
It occurred to me earlier on when I was
You
out.
should have saved that till when you were doing your introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Next week.
Next week.
You shot your load now. That's it.
Yeah. Yes, and this week we'll be looking at the Peter Davison classic, The Visitation, only this time starring his son-in-law.
Yeah.
David Tennant.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Just checking. Sorry.
yes, one of his son-in-laws. One of the characters played by his son-in-law.
David Tennant. You're saying David Tennant?
David Tennant.
Yes.
We've established. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's happening.
Yeah. So
So what are we doing?
Doing the Visitation. With David Tennant.
Yeah.
Would you like your cup of tea first?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I used to really like The Visitation. I'm slightly indifferent about it now.
I love it.
I know you don't like it, do you, Baz?
I'm not that keen on it. And watching it again now, I was thinking, why? And I think possibly it's the direction
Yeah.
Peter Moffat, which is desperately unexciting. And there's some fight scenes which are just done in sort of wide shot.
Oh,
too
Yeah.
long.
if you're gonna level that at any Doctor Who, then that's all Doctor Who gone, though, isn't it? Classic Who, certainly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's that. It's very flat for me.
There are
Yeah.
stories I have that I look at them and go, I should like this story. I like everything about this story apart from the story itself.
Mm,
Yeah.
It's weird.
yeah.
When I say the story itself, I don't mean the plot. I mean the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just don't
Yeah.
gel for you.
Yeah, and it's a funny one as well with the Doctor in it. It's obviously the first script by Eric Saward, and it's got the Doctor. If you
Yeah.
listen to his dialogue, he's been really rude and unpleasant, and kind of just ordering people about all the way through. And Peter Davison, the way he plays it, you don't quite notice. He kind of he tones it down. But I can imagine, if you had, say, Colin Baker, if you're ramming this for Colin Baker and you had him really going for it in every line, that's the problem in season 22, where people suddenly go, "Wow, the Doctor's a real piece of shit." It's kind of...
I've always argued against that because look at Hartnell and shut up.
Yeah.
No Doctor's a piece of shit as much as Hartnell.
I think there's a sense in which kind of writers that are new to it, kind of their first interpretation of the Doctor is always slightly themselves. So
Yeah.
So
I don't know
he's
what it is
kind
with
of
Eric Saward.
talking a bit like Eric
And I
Saward.
suppose when it was written, they hadn't seen the Doctor yet. They hadn't
Yeah.
seen Davison playing the Doctor. So the nearest you're going on is Tom Baker. You want to go as far away from Baker as possible. I suppose the natural impulse, therefore, also knowing you're doing a younger Doctor, is to go Hartnell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know Stephen Moffat had the same problem, didn't he? He was writing sort of dialogue for Peter Capaldi, and he was and then you see him saying
Yeah,
it, and he's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
"Wow," it's really kind of
Kind of
coming
like
across
it's
as
like 10
aggressive now.
times worse
It's
than
gonna, he's gone
yeah,
a bit Malcolm Tucker
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
yeah. He's odd. Capaldi's odd though in his first story
Mm.
because you've got that sense in which they are making him very aggressive, but in other bits he's very Matt Smith. And
Mm.
whereas that comes across as kind of quite sort of funny in a younger man, it comes across as slightly odd in a man of Capaldi's age, like he's kind of slightly senile or something.
But I
yeah,
love that. I love the Doctor being slightly odd. I think that
Yeah,
I was looking at, I was watching a behind the scene a documentary, not behind the scenes, about the war game,
yeah,
as in the 1965 anti-war nuclear war Peter
yeah,
Watkins film,
hmm
BBC
yeah,
film. And Peter Watkins apparently had advanced a theory, which is saying that everything's becoming more and more samey because
yeah,
society self-censors. He was railing against the censorship of the fact that the war game wasn't shown in 1965 or 66.
yeah,
And that thought's really stuck with me. And I'm absolutely getting behind it. I do think things are becoming more and more self-censored and samey and bland.
yeah, yeah,
I kind of like the extreme. I'm a fan of the Sixth Doctor. I like the extreme Doctors because the Doctor's a fucking alien.
yeah,
And it's a cliche to go on about, Tom dismissing all the deaths in pyramids of Mars, and Sarah
yeah,
going, "Well, sometimes you don't seem," but it's the best way I think it's ever
yeah,
been put. Well, it's not human. This
yeah.
this thing isn't human,
yeah.
and I miss that in the new series, particularly.
Yeah.
None of which is relevant to the Visitation, really.
I think there's a bit of a conflict going on with Davison though, isn't there? In which kind of, in a sense, somebody is kind of wanting him to play it like Tristan,
Hmm.
and he's fighting against playing it like Tristan, and you get this kind of
What
conflict.
would that be? Atlantic.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of get this kind of conflict there.
I mean, Davison's
Yeah.
far too good an actor to play it as Tristan.
Yeah,
And he really is taking on board the "I'm really, really old in here" thing,
yeah,
I think.
yeah,
And does that very well,
Yeah.
in general. He's obviously, I mean, The Visitation's his third story filmed?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite early on.
I think it's Fort of Doomsday, Visitation, then Castrovalva.
I mean, it does feel like his Doctor's not quite fully formed at this point. But I mean, he's not putting a foot wrong in terms of performance. It's
yeah.
He never does.
no.
In Doctor Who, I don't think he ever does.
Mm.
There's no points where you go, "Oh, Davison's a bit embarrassing" or anything like that, or over the
Yeah.
top or whatever. He's always absolutely rock solid and pitched correctly for whatever the material is.
I was loving his facial expressions in this, where Adric's saying stuff and he just has these long, suffering facial expressions.
Well, that's part of it. Yeah, he keeps rolling in his eyes.
Yeah, where Tom would have just scowled at him.
Yeah, looked at the other side of the room, and just walked off to be out of shot.
He gets really sarcastic towards the end of the story. He's like, "Yeah, right, yeah, whatever,"
Yeah. And in terms of Adric saying stuff, this has one of my favorite quotes from Doctor Who of all time, which is, "Why is he never around when you want him?" That no one says "want" like that. It's like an alien looked at the script and went "want." Right. I'm quite
Never
sure
seen this word
Waterhouse
before.
was not brought up to say "want." There's no accent in the UK that pronounces it "want." What the fuck, Matthew Waterhouse? He's never around when you want him. But I don't know what want is. Be clear, man.
I don't know, but he really
In fairness
wants
to, in fairness to him, they maybe got to the end of that scene and he went, I pronounced that really weird. Can we go back? No,
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah, that's probably
Maybe
what it
that's
is, yeah.
entirely possible. But
Yeah,
that,
well,
I'm 45, keep going.
that doesn't happen to anyone else in Doctor Who ever. They may stumble their lines a bit, but they never just completely mispronounce a word like "what" that you're taught as a 1-year-old. So yeah, want. Anyway, I want that we should get on with some plot.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
okay,
want
yeah.
you to do that.
Yes, let's do that. Yeah,
Only if you want to, of course.
yeah, I really want to. Yeah, really.
Oh, tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
really, really, really want to do this script.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're in the 17th century, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah. It was the 15th when we started.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an old English pronunciation.
No, we don't
Maybe
go
Alex
on
is
for that.
picking something up from the TARDIS telepathic circuits. Re, tithe, want, etc. That sort of old nonsense.
Yeah, if you read Shakespeare in that accent, it all becomes clear, apparently. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
This is the Doctor. Present time, the High Council of Time Lords. Keeper of the legacy of Rassilon. Defender of the laws of time. Protector of Gallifrey.
Okay, so it's the 17th century. We're in a sort of a fairly posh 17th century house, and there's a family there. I think some of them have got names. The son's called Charles, but they're not around for long. They see some lights in the sky, basically some bright lights.
I love John Savin making the most.
Yes.
He's really going for it. Yeah.
I've only got a small part,
Medicinal.
so I'm going to
The
make
thing
sure
is-
people notice me.
Funny
Yep.
thing is, they are some of the most interesting characters we meet, and then they'll disappear.
Yeah.
They're not in it.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid thinking, oh, when are they going to turn up again?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah.
they never do. Yeah.
And they just don't, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they see some explosions, basically some lights in the sky, and there's a spaceship in the woods.
I'm just going to do the instant music because this is the first story I recorded on audio cassette.
Yeah.
So the soundtrack is etched into my engrams. So I might just do instant music as you do plot.
So you know this story word for word, so you should be doing the plot, really.
I love the way the
Oh.
music in this kind of at the beginning is just kind of going, it's the 17th century. Do you see?
But I love it. I love all of Paddy
Got a
King's
synthesizer.
scores all the
Yeah.
time. Full
Yeah.
stop. That was great. It's just really nice.
So basically, something enters the house.
Ding.
You're going to do this all the way through.
Yeah, all right. Only if you want me to.
Hey.
Yeah.
And then a robot turns up. It's a robot.
Yay.
And they're all
Love the
murdered.
robot.
Yeah. Do you?
Love the
Yeah.
design.
Do you love the robot?
I do. Yes.
It's really sparkly with his cricket
Yes.
gloves.
Yes, absolutely, I do. Yeah, totally. The concept that the pterodactyl is designed for pleasure rather than just for that's the first robots we've seen since the Vox, where you have that.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
little bit extra imagination to me.
It doesn't need quite so much bling, though. Really,
You don't need quite so much bling.
I don't need that much bling. No.
Well, that's on you.
I got a feeling though that in the modern series, there'd be less of him going from being Sparkly Robot to being Spectre of Death Robot.
Mm.
He'd be Spectre of Death Robot probably all the time.
And he wouldn't sparkle either. He would,
yeah.
and he'd go clump, clump, clump with really obvious, constant sound effects.
Yeah.
And he'd be shit.
Well,
But
yeah.
I think that
in the Tennant
sorry.
era, I was just going to say, in the Tennant era, this is the pre-credit, isn't it? And you get titles.
Yeah.
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 Who are we replacing John Savardant with, for the love of God?
Helen Mirren.
John Savardant.
he was still alive
He was
then?
still around, wasn't he? Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
I think
you know,
only-
All
yeah.
right. Okay. Fair enough.
I think.
You're Googling it.
I'm Googling it because I need to know.
Wanton.
I want to know. What I should do is take every single member of English Equity and just write the dates of birth and dates of death down so I just know it.
Is there not a website called arethedead.com? You just put somebody's name in.
He died in
Yes,
February.
there is.
Yes,
I
I
mean,
know.
there will be one.
He died this February. I can't believe it.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Yes.
That was recent, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. John Savardant.
Yay.
We salute you, sir.
But this time fresh from Coronation Street, where he's been a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he could play again. Yeah.
Mhm. I seem to recall I remembered him from Agrorian.
Yeah, I think I did as well. Because
Yeah.
I had Orbit.
Mm.
I had
Yeah.
Orbit on tape, so I
Ah.
can.
He was one of those guys, wasn't he? You would see him all over BBC productions. That era.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
you know,
and ITV just working all the time.
just be everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, took great care with his personal body odor. He always wanted to smell very fragrant. It might be Pete Davison in an interview that said you could always tell when John Savin was in a room because everything was fragrant.
Right. Which was
Not
unusual in
saying
the
he had
80s.
body odor. He had body niceness.
People weren't worrying about that in the 80s. They were kind of, you know,
Right.
Body niceness of John Savin.
bit of musk would be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wear musk.
For men.
Yes. Denim.
Denim.
Good. Well, we've
Or a
learned
bit of
things
brew.
tonight. We've learned things. It's great.
Bit of brew is always good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like Terry Walsh wore brew.
Oh,
Yeah. Slap it
What a-
all over.
Yeah.
All up. Yeah.
Gosh.
Go ahead! Time round!
So we cut to the TARDIS. Basically, we have in the
Yeah.
original version, it's a bit soapy, really. They spent ages talking about the adventure they just had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
This is
was-
going to be hectic, isn't it? It's going to be a hectic flight, like the beginning of Empty Child, where they're following the
Yeah.
signal. You know, it's mauve and dangerous, and the TARDIS is going all over the place. I think it'll be a hectic joyride because they've found a signal of a falling
yeah.
spacecraft.
I suppose we
So
need
this
to
can be
decide which
Rose
crew
and
this
Mickey
is.
then. Yeah.
Who it is, yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's got to be Rose and Mickey, hasn't it, in terms of numbers?
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, we haven't really sort of delved into that, so we could set it around then. Yeah.
I really cannot imagine which of them is going to go back to the TARDIS and build a highly complicated piece of scientific equipment to vibrate the android.
Yes.
I don't know which.
Mm.
You know what? It's going to be the fucking sonic screwdriver, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just gonna sonic it to death.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if they cram this into one
Intelligence
episode,
will
then
actually be in the background.
we'll have less time for that. There's a lot of
Yeah.
cutting to Nissa building silently by herself for a while.
Mhm.
There's a lot of that goes on.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Quite like those scenes. I like watching people build silently by themselves.
Just relaxing, you know.
It is relaxing.
There are YouTube channels for that sort of thing. Yeah, yeah.
I've heard, yes,
Yeah.
but I do not want them.
Either that or we'll maybe have the Doctor just telling Rose to go back to TARDIS and find his robot vibrating machine, which is already there. That sounds awful, doesn't it?
Sonic screwdriver amplifier.
hmm Save a bit
You
of
know
time.
that robot vibrating machine I gave you for your birthday? Well,
Yeah, I need that back. But watch it
yeah.
this time.
Oh, but I want it.
Because I want it. Because I want it.
Yes. Yes.
No, we know Rose wants it. So yeah, okay. So yeah, they land at Heathrow. Well, yeah, they land at Heathrow basically in 1666.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily
There
know. It's
wouldn't be really any purpose.
We'll
for
make it the powerless
to go to-
state. Make it the powerless state in
Yeah.
1666.
Yeah, yeah. Somewhere sort of on the outskirts of London. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a village in those days, obviously.
Mhm.
It did occur to me. I mean, maybe the Tennant era would set the whole thing in London, but you'd
Nah, you want the shift.
jiff up the plot around a fair amount. Yeah.
Unless, well, if we're doing it in one part, we're doing it as a one episode story.
I would assume one part.
So in that case, it's all set in
Yeah.
Pudding Lane.
I mean, that would make sense.
It's very new series. Think of the Shakespeare Code. It's it's
Exactly.
very and Tennant coming out going Pudding Lane, love Pudding Lane. This is where the Great Fire of London started, and loads of people died. Oh, brilliant!
Oh, I love a pudding.
Give away the twist ending. Yay!
It does give it away. Yeah, it does give it away a little bit.
1982. It was 1982.
Yeah.
Twist ending. Shut up. The Doctor Who.
No, I'm
podcast.
talking about David Tennant giving away the twist
Oh,
ending.
right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fine.
Mm.
I just thought you were having a go at me because I'm used to these things.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone is coming to us to find out what happened in the Visitation. Yeah.
Well, quite. No, you get this. You get this. I mean, people have occasionally said to me, "Oh, don't say who did it in contradiction." It's 10 fucking years ago. Surely anyone watching this is going to have played contradiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just going to say there will be a very sort of unsubtle bit of bloody
Unsubtle
contradiction.
bit of
Not
what?
something Love an unsubtle cunt. Oh no! Oh, clouds. They all died.
Mouse.
You want the vibrator, don't you?
I was going to say, I think there'll be a really unsubtle bit of exposition in this about the fire of London.
Yes.
Where, in a way that it's quite sad, because in a way that, I knew what the Great Fire of London was when I was
We knew it started in Pudding Lane.
12,
Yeah.
but I don't know that your average 12-year-olds these days would,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember my dad going, ha ha, at the end of it, when he sees the Pudding Lane thing, and I went, what?
Yeah.
What? Explain. And
Oh,
then
right,
you
okay.
explain. And
I got that. I knew that.
I think I must have known. Yeah. Yeah.
I was about to say, I was younger than you, Paul, but Baz knew, but I was younger than you and in the north. So the most impoverished.
I can't quite remember, if I'm honest. I've got a fake feeling.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I was taught it at school or whether it's just one of those kind of morbid thing that 12-year-old boys like. Fires that kill thousands
The
of people.
point being, I learned something from Doctor Who. I asked, I didn't understand Pudding Lane, so I asked, and I learned about the Fire of London from my parents.
You learned
And
some
that was
knowledge.
great.
Yeah.
You're just making this up as you go along.
Yep. But I do it brilliantly.
There's a lot of stuff we can cut here with Tegan storming out.
Yeah.
But when they do go outside, they smell sulfur, and they just wander off. Basically, they just
So are they on the streets of London then, at this point? Maybe we shouldn't set the entire thing in London, because
you wouldn't
require a lot of changing, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, the streets of London would be rife with plague as well. They wouldn't be kind of attempting to defend it off.
You maybe want it slightly outside London, in a village
Yeah,
outside
maybe
London.
let's do it slightly outside.
Yeah. So at this point, they get attacked basically. There's the blokes burning the sulfur burners to drive away plague, basically, and then they attack them. So they run away, and they're helped by Richard Mace, actor.
I love Richard Mace. I loved them originally. I still love them now.
He's somewhat OTT.
I am going to enjoy this episode. I'm terribly sorry.
What's the actor's name that plays him?
Don't know.
He was Arthur in On the Buses, wasn't he? Oh, Arthur.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name now.
I cannot get the hang of
Michael somebody. Michael. Oh,
Robbins. Michael Robbins.
Michael Robbins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wearing your old hair, Baz.
Yeah.
We have Baz playing him in this version. You probably wouldn't have had it then either, would you? In 2000?
Oh, I would have done. Yeah.
Michael Robbins was completely bald, so they did have wigs.
Yeah. I'm sure it wasn't his actual hair. Yeah. I mean, the thing that occurred to me about this was, if it's the Tennant era, they're going to make it a celebrity historical. It's going to be Samuel Pepys or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a Christopher Wren, it's going to be someone.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
This is narrowing everything down.
Yeah.
All right, Samuel Pepys, played by Chris Tarrant.
He is going to be going, I love your diaries. They're still being read in the year 5,700 billion.
Yeah. Samuel Pepys is just going to punch him.
Read my diary, sir. How dare you?
This.
Yeah, he's just out there burying some cheese.
That's Pepys' catchphrase. He does that every time he hits someone.
Like a biff.
If we had been keeping Mace, though, I think Rufus Hound would have been quite good.
Oh,
quite good, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, let's keep Mace.
Let's keep Mace. I'd have to keep Mace. Yeah.
That's easier, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck Pepys.
Fuck Pepys in his stupid face.
That's not us being all street there.
We don't want Pepys.
So we call this episode "Fuck Peeps." Fucking diaries. What's it about? So they're hiding in a barn basically.
Yeah.
And then we sort of hear about the plague and how that started off with the comet.
Oh, the plague!
Oh, not plague.
Never plague.
Oh, I haven't had the plague for ages.
You know what plagues do? They kill people. Oh, they all died, etc., etc.
Explaining the plague to kids who might not know what plague is.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mhm. And the other thing they notice is that Mace is wearing he's got an alien bracelet around his neck as he's sort of wearing it as a necklace. So they decide to have a look around in this barn, and they find some power packs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe Mickey finds them. Mickey finds some power packs.
Mickey's not going to know what they are, though, is he? Like
No.
capable Nissa. He's just
No,
going
that's true. No,
hey, look, what's these things?
yeah.
Oh, power packs, hello!
Oh, not seen him for eight anyway.
Etc.
And the doctor discharges this power pack into the floor of the barn, which is covered in straw.
Mm.
And you're just thinking, you're just itching to start a fire here, aren't you?
Not electricity.
They're really careless with these.
It's
Could do, couldn't
electric
it?
energy.
Spark the corn, set it off. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
doctor's stupid. All right,
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
He's a fire starter.
We probably
Twisted fire starter.
we probably don't need that whole demonstration because I mean that demo is obviously for later.
Yeah.
So we probably don't need that at all.
No. And they're really careless with these power packs. They're fucking everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Characters don't do recycling.
These power packs are everywhere.
All my travellings throughout the universe, I have battled against evil, against power-mad conspirators. I should have stayed here. The oldest civilization, decadent, degenerate, and rotten to the core. Power-mad conspirators, Daleks, Sontarans, Cybermen. They're still in the nursery compared to us. 10 million years of absolute power. That's what it takes to be really corrupt.
So they go to visit the barn owner. It's owned by the big house. They're nearly run over by the miller on the way in his cart.
Jonathan Miller.
And
Can we have him played by Jonathan Miller? Just for shits and giggles.
The miller as the miller.
yeah, I'm sure he'd be up for that. Yeah.
All that stuff. The guy going, oh, the Miller about him, ill temper. No muscle. Great intellect, but ill temper. Doesn't like you asking about Beyond the Fringe.
Yeah. There's some joke in there about Billy Piper having been in The Miller's Wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the Miller.
Yes.
It's quite saucy, that story, isn't it? The Miller's Wife. I'm sure a lot of those Chaucer stories, they're quite saucy.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was the thing.
Yeah.
When she came into the... Sorry, go on. What is it?
No, I wasn't saying anything of value or use.
Oh,
Right.
I
I
thought
was
you
just
said, I thought you
saying
said
that...
Chaucer was a nonce or something. I didn't hear.
No.
All right.
Well, not as far as I know.
Chaucer's a nonce.
Oh, shit. It's like the O-Men from Jigsaw, you sort of say nonch and suddenly sort of Sean Connery appears in the narrative. Or nonch your shit. I shall destroy them. I shall set fire to the entirety of London. That will cleanse the nonsense.
Yeah, I remember when the series came back and they announced Billy Piper and loads of people, pop star and whatever. But I'd seen her in that Chaucer, Canterbury Tales Revisited.
Right.
Where she's in The Miller's Wife, and she's not in The Miller's Wife. She is The Miller's Wife.
Yeah.
And she was really good in that, and that's how I knew she was going to be good when everybody was going, "Oh, she'll be shit."
I was one of the ones going, but that should be shit because I hadn't seen
Yeah.
that.
So I hadn't seen that either.
Yeah.
I take it we're replacing the girl in the fireplace.
Yes.
And we
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just wanted to clarify. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Okay. So they were coming into the house at this point.
Yeah.
There's no answer when they knock. So basically the Doctor and Rose,
Yeah.
I assume, break in through a window
Yeah.
and eventually let the others in. But the family aren't there; they're all missing.
Yeah.
And certainly in the original version, there's a staircase which is blocked off.
Yeah.
They call it the main staircase. They say it goes down to the kitchens. It doesn't really look like a main staircase to me.
Yeah, we don't need any of this stuff, do we? Isn't that really going?
Yeah.
No,
It's there for a
no,
cliffhanger.
no. We
Yeah.
can fairly safely
There's no
simplify
reason why
this.
they can't just find the base, because the pterodactyls are clearly kind of established and they've got laser weapons and stuff. They're not scared of
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
just there going, right, we're here. Plonk.
yeah. They're just in the
Yes.
cellar. I mean, no one's going to disturb them in the Lord of the Manor's house. You know, they're fine.
No.
Yeah. So they go down to the cellar basically, where they can smell Soliton gas.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a green thing there. It looks a bit like a tulip.
I think it's a pterodactyl bomb.
Yeah.
That's a bomb.
I think they're all spending all their time just because, well, look at the way they hang around it, kind of going, just breathing in and just like chilling out, you know. That's the pterodactyl thing. It's fine.
It makes sense because they clearly don't need it later on.
No, indeed.
No. Well, then he rides all the way to London on the back of a cart, and he's absolutely fine, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord, we're making lots of cogent points very quickly in this, aren't we?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like we know what we're saying.
Extraordinary. Remarkable. This will never happen again.
Maybe when he's on the back of the cart, he's got a little canister inside his robe
He's got a spliff,
with a mask.
Spliff, man.
Oh, that's the stuff.
Yeah. Ah.
Yeah. Little mini
Turn
bomb.
off your mind, relax, and float downstream.
Or a patch. He's got a Soliton patch.
Nah,
on his
patches are
arm.
good. Nah, trust me. He's smoking good shit. All the way down in London. It happens. People do that. You know,
He's got a Soliton nebulizer. Just
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I'd never advocate such things, but you know. Hey.
So yeah, there's that there, and then there's lots of rats in cages. And this is basically where the robot comes in. And attacks them. And in the original version, Tegan gets zapped,
Yeah.
and I think Adric gets captured as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But no one cares.
no.
Another fantastic fight scene from Adric, isn't it? It's,
Yeah.
I didn't quite see it, but yeah, they made.
Did I mention that thing in that recording or in the first recording about him falling out?
It's this one. Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
So-
he does spend the story trying to kick people up the bum and then getting knocked down.
I was watching the making of documentary in lieu of watching the actual story because I had it on audio and I know it backwards. And there's a bit where Davison was saying, yeah, all Matthew had to do was get on all fours behind this guy so I could push him over and all that sort of bit. And this is easy stuff to do, but he doesn't quite get it right. And Davison points this out, and you can see it. And then they then cut to the clip, and the stuntman kind of awkwardly falls over Matthew Waterhouse's head, and does the stunt anyway. But yeah, it's you know,
I mean,
really-
given the trouble he had walking like a normal person anyway.
he just doesn't want to. He just doesn't want to be normal. And that's fine. I'm down with that.
There's probably a bit in the footage where Gary Downey runs in and goes, "Just get on all fours. You could do it last night."
Gary Downey German.
Cut that bit.
Cut that, yeah.
He was. Was he Dutch or something?
Was he?
Was he? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know where he's from actually, but he did have. If he
No one
on
knows.
whatever making of thing it is, where he's going, let's make magic. He's got a kind of.
I met him a few times. I don't remember him seeing him
He's
particularly
not
Dutch.
Dutch. He's not, man.
I'm sure he was.
He's not. That's just a southern accent.
This is all getting cut anyway, so it makes no difference.
Can't afford to cut this. We're already doing it the second time. All of this has to count.
I should tell my story. I learned recently that Matthew Waterhouse lives quite near me because he lives in Hastings. He lives down the seafront in Hastings.
Oh, right.
So,
Go and get him as a guest.
I I know where he lives. I
Have
can
to
knock
be
on his door.
careful
I could
what
actually,
we say. Yeah.
yeah.
You just stand outside his house, go, "We want you."
We want you,
We
Matthew.
want you.
Matthew. Tap, tap, tap at the window.
Sitting there going, "Bloody Barry Williams, always at the window."
When you don't want him.
Well, you do want him, he isn't there.
Is South African.
Is he? Oh, right. Okay.
Was.
Well,
South
was.
African.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Wasn't African, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh well, big Dutch influence, fair enough.
All right. Yeah. True enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm guessing Rose and Mickey get captured,
Yeah.
and the Doctor runs off with Richard Mace. Richard
Mhm.
Mace.
Yeah.
This is seeming very cogent now. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
And we get some scenes where, yeah, they get questioned. Basically, they get questioned by the pteroleptal leader.
It's
He doesn't
totally
have a
gonna
name.
Yeah.
This is what pteroleptal.
The pteroleptal leader, he doesn't have a name in this, which really annoys me. It winds me up. We should call him a name.
Yeah. Jeffrey.
Dave.
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 Okay, Dave.
Or,
Dave the
or a sort of
pteroleptal.
alien version of Dave, something like that.
Dav.
Dav.
Dav. Yeah.
Dav will do, yeah.
Just
Dav.
Dav with a little inflection of the A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pronounced Dave.
Yeah.
I think what you actually have in this sequence, you'll have a bit of soap stuff going on between Mickey and Rose as well.
Mm.
You know, they're both lying there being tied up and being threatened by this alien, and they're kind of going on about their relationship or lack of.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
A bit of all that.
Yeah. Well, they kind of they give him quite a bit of information here. Dav. He finds out that they've got a time travel machine and stuff like that.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
onto them pretty quick.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good thing because in other stories it just takes the aliens ages to work out that people aren't from
Mm.
the right time period and whatever.
Yeah.
In this, they're just straight away, they're just like, yeah, right, you're not from here.
You've got
Textiles.
synthesized
I think
materials.
the pterodactyl kind of go, yeah, look, you're wearing like advanced plastic textiles. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just don't even try it because
Yeah.
I'm like shit hot, mate.
Yeah.
You two are fools.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dav's good. Yeah.
Yeah, Dav's shit hot. He's yeah,
Yeah.
Unlike his mates, Gav and Mav.
they're terrible. Yeah,
Yeah, what would they look like? Yeah, what would they look like, the Tyrant?
True.
I think they look like the Hath.
I think
Yeah.
they'd be more like the modern kind of Monday Silurians. That they'd be a sort of a human in face in makeup.
Yeah,
'Cause it's got quite a lot
boring.
of dialogue.
Yeah,
I did rather like
right.
the original look, sort of fish from the front, Budgie from the back.
Yeah, they've got those tails, haven't they? Yeah. Yeah, they're great.
Yes.
that Gary Darren's raison d'etre. Fish from the front, Budgie from the back. I don't know what that means. That's just the reason.
That's what I like in a man.
Looks a bit like a budgie. Smuggle that, JNC.
Oh, you mean they're budgie smugglers?
Yes.
Wasn't at all contrived.
I thought I'd better go get it in there, somewhere.
Yeah,
somebody
that's what
say
Gary
something.
said.
Was that what we were going to call this episode? The Budgie Smugglers. Yeah, that's right.
The Budgie
Yeah.
Smugglers, yeah.
That's
We're
what I
going to
did.
have to put in some reference somewhere to us having not recorded this section because we're constantly referring back to it.
We should
Yeah,
just
it's
be,
just
we
gonna
should
be a
really-
bastard
we
to
should
edit.
just be honest. We should just be completely honest about it all the way through this and just go, yeah, with this. It was
Yeah.
fun the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we forgot to record this bit, so this is the second time around.
It's
we're
like
trying to
the
remember what we
unrecorded
said last
version
time.
of-
Yeah.
It's like the first version of 1984, the 1954 one with Peter Cushing. He always said, "Oh, I think the first one was by far the better." Yeah, that's what we haven't got.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cushing, you twat.
The first
You were there,
recording of
you
this
weren't.
was
It was shit
fantastic.
hot. Yeah, well,
it was
wasn't recorded, but it was
amazing.
really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's just for us.
Could win a BAFTA.
Yeah.
Time Machine 1949, amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, long story short, we established that they've been sentenced to the Tinclavic mines of Raga for budgie smuggling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was really funny.
It was really
Yeah.
fun. It was great.
Yeah. Absolutely
And
hilarious.
it's so much funnier when you have to explain it like that.
Yeah,
isn't it? I was-
Now
Like
it's
old
hilarious.
jokes.
Yeah. Oh dear.
It's not your month, is it, Matt?
I'm not. It's not. No. It's no.
I'm not. No, fine. I mean, yeah,
No.
you are not the month. That's true.
My car broke down as well. Yeah. Not having a good time.
My car broke down. My parents died. He's lying there upon his side.
Commercial time.
This is Tim Trelaw.
This is David J. Howe.
I'm Peter Purvis.
I am Sadie Miller.
This is Lauren Cornelius.
Larry, it's Fraser.
For all things in the Doctor Who collecting world and beyond, the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast. I'm Larry Van Mersbergen, your host, and I've been collecting for 42 years. You're listening to Time Ram on the Direction Point Podcast Network.
So, yeah. Dav, Mav, and Gav. Good.
Yeah.
So there's 3 of them left.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was another one. He was called Tarquin.
Yes. He designed the robot.
I think, yeah, he was the one, the really arty one. He did the robot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all bit. Does it need that many jewels? Yes.
It never really fit in, Tarquin. It wasn't one of the
Don't
crowd.
mess with my style. All right. What's so fucking touchy about your robot? Jesus. Oh no, we're crashing. Oh, Tarquin's dead. Oh well. We didn't whack him around anyway.
There is that bit, isn't there? They find the life pod, the spaceship in the woods.
Yeah. It's very
so
clean.
It's very clean, very
It is
white.
very clean. Yeah. They're future pterodactyl people. They've got, cleaning.
They've got
tech.
mates. Yeah, all right.
Clean
Yeah.
on the outside, though. Yeah.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Well, aliens.
Mm-hmm. Given that it's come through the
I
atmosphere,
do
and crashed into some
like that shot. I do like, it's a combination of the front portal built on
Yeah.
and the glass shot. It's great.
Yeah, it's a good effect. Yeah. Well, I don't know how far this really helps us, but there's some stuff in there. They go in there, and then they get attacked by some villagers, and they have to break out the back.
Yeah.
Doesn't really advance the plot that much. We can probably cut this bit.
Yeah.
Which is just well, because they leave that fucking spaceship there. They don't do anything about it. It's still there.
Yeah.
In the 20th century, it's still under Heathrow.
Biodegradable.
Yeah. I think some vagrant comes along and moves into it.
Oh, is he like the 17th century version of Pig Bin Josh?
Shit heap, Josh. Yeah.
Shit, Josh.
This is like the best stuff, isn't it?
It really is. We kind of what did we
We're
say?
cutting out the crap bits and just keeping the gags. It's
Yeah.
all gags.
We're keeping the meat.
It's
This
all
is how we
killer,
should do
no
every
filler.
time round from now on. We do a rehearsal, then we record. Cut right down to the meat.
Burn for the visitation. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's various scenes here with in the original version we've got Adric and Tegan locked in the cellar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And basically what happens is they escape, and then Adric gets away and Tegan gets recaptured.
Yeah.
Which I guess we can more or less keep that in going on in the background. We can keep that. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because we don't need Nissa going back to the TARDIS and building the sonic boosters,
No.
so we can live without that.
No, because Total were just sonically android out of existence
Yeah, okay.
with this sonic.
So yeah, basically he and Mace go to see the miller in that case.
Yeah.
Certainly the original version, they go in there. Well, I mean, Mace wants to get a horse.
Yeah.
It's quite a weird scene there where he's talking to a donkey for a bit.
Yeah.
He's kind of holding its face, and the donkey's like, "Fuck off, get out of it."
I like the whole bit of talking to the monkey. I like Richard Mace.
He's good fun. Yeah. He kind of made me think of a sort of, to some extent, a sort of strange version of the Sixth Doctor in that he's a bit kind of full of himself, but also, I don't know. Maybe it's the Saward connection, but the way Saward writes the Sixth Doctor made me think of Richard Macy a little bit.
Wasn't he a pre-existing character of Saward?
He's in radio plays,
from something else.
He may have been. Yeah.
Played by someone else.
Yeah, also. Yeah. Who have we cast as Richard Macy in this? Did we cast
Rufus Hound? Rufus Hound?
Rufus Hound. Okay.
Oh, Rufus Hound.
Yeah. No, we're in safe hands. That's all right. Yeah.
They're
in this cellar. Well, they're in a barn, and the villagers turn up, and they accuse them of having plague.
Yeah.
So they get the Scytheman out. And the Scytheman's going to scythe them,
Mm-hmm.
and the Doctor's like, "Not again."
Yeah.
I was like, "Has he been scythed before?"
Oh, that's a reference to Force Doomsday.
Is it?
It is. I remember that at the time. I remember I was really impressed by the fact that they were referring to it, because you start the story off with Tegan talking about the Mara.
Yeah.
And then Davison references Force Doomsday. And as a kid, I loved that. I thought, oh, look, suddenly Doctor Who's this continuous thing that they remember things.
Previous adventures happened. Yeah.
Which they never did in the past, which was lovely.
Yeah. I mean,
it's kind of slightly going back to the very earliest ones, isn't it? Because
where it
that's
becomes
kind
a serial.
of what they did with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It feels slightly clumsy. I mean, those opening scenes are very soapy, but they're just bickering. They're not. There's not a lot of character development there. I feel it's kind of it's just them having a go at each other.
Yeah. We did that in part 1, didn't we?
No, I don't think we did. I think we did it about here.
Oh. Well, the whole bit about there's always accusations placed at this era that the TARDIS crew just don't want to be there, but they really don't. I mean, these accusations are completely correct. They don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Apart from Nissa, who's fine.
Yeah.
It seems quite happy. And where's she going to go anyway?
He's got nowhere to go. So
it does get a bit endless and a bit dull.
It goes on for a while, and it's the one bit for me where Davison isn't completely convincing. Is the bit where he starts talking about feelings and how he's trying to hide his real feelings, and it's meant to be affectionate towards Adric, and it doesn't come across in the body language for me.
Oh, I thought that was acted. I've always thought that's the Doctor being awkward.
Yeah.
But like Eccleston always says he didn't think that his acting as the Doctor, doing the comedy gurning and stuff came across very well. I always thought it was the Doctor getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Because the Doctor's an alien.
Yeah, well, there's always an argument for that, yeah.
But yeah.
It's like that scene with Jodie Whittaker where Graham starts talking about his cancer coming back. She's really awkward with it.
Yeah.
And there's lots of people going, that's not very doctorish, which to a large extent I'd agree with. But people also going, well, the Doctor could be awkward in a situation like that. She's not perfect, so.
I suppose at the end of the day, each incarnation is a different incarnation, and they're going to be awkward in that situation or not.
Yeah, it's hard to be definitive about these things, isn't it?
Yeah. It's one of the reasons we keep talking about Doctor Who, isn't it? Because it isn't definitive.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek with your characters, you can be definitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With the Doctor, you can't really.
No.
It would have been nice to have seen Adric with Colin Baker, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Why are you such a bloody smart ass all the time?
Yes, I want to. So it's certainly the original version. We're about halfway through here. We've just had the cliffhanger, episode 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as the cliffhanger in Port of Doomsday, isn't it? That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the headman comes in. The headman comes in and says, no, they want you alive. Lock them up. It's virtually the only villager that gets much in the way of lines.
Mm-hmm.
So we need.
Well, it's Reginald D. Hunter.
Reginald D. Hunter.
I'm going to give him some on-screen time.
Been in the news recently. Yeah. No, okay, fine. I'm happy with that. Yeah, Reginald D. Hunter, if you want. Yeah.
Cool.
Back at the cellar. It's Rose in the cellar, isn't it? So Mickey's escaped.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Rose is in the cellar. She gets a control
bracelet. Mickey ambling about the woods randomly now, trying to find the TARDIS.
Yeah.
We might stretch this out so it happens a bit later, actually. But yeah,
right. Yeah.
Mickey escapes at some point, and then Rose gets a control bracelet on her. put on her, and she's playing with poison. Basically, she's moving it about for them.
Yeah.
So the headman's meant to bring the Doctor and Mace to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they have a sort of scene in the cellar where they jump on him and they pull off the power pack.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of collapses and goes back to normal.
Yeah.
But the villagers still don't like them. They think they're witches now.
Yeah.
They're going to burn them.
Yeah.
Burn them good. So they
Not supposed to burn them badly, which would be what, a mild singe with a match or something.
We're gonna singe
But,
you.
yeah, that's not really burned me much. I might slight from my finger.
Gonna singe them.
Yes. Bit of random singeing.
Dav
Order you to be singed to death.
That'd be a really horrible death. That would be
really
so much longer and more
slow
painful than
singeing.
burning.
Yeah.
Horrific being singed.
Yeah. We'll put you within about a foot of this naked flame for the next 20 days.
Yeah. And then just very slowly edged towards you.
Yeah. So Dav, fortunately, he sends his robot, and he collects them basically. We can whiz through this. They can get taken straight to the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the exciting thing. Nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
So the Doctor gets brought in. This is where he gets to meet Dav. We get a lot of the explanations around this point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We learn he's an escaped prisoner. It's from the tin traffic mines from Raga.
Mm-hmm. I love all that stuff. I love that. I like the world building. Gives to the Pterodactyls. That's lovely.
Yeah.
They do feel to me a cut above the average alien race. They actually have some kind of culture.
Yeah, there's some thought.
They have prisons. They have beauty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not much, but it's better than we get from a lot.
Yeah. It's quite a nice argument that the Doctor has with him here, where he's kind of basically saying, "Look, I'll find you a planet. You don't have to kill everyone."
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I love the way Tennant goes around and goes, "Look, it isn't an argument. It's a statement.
I'm doing it anyway. Don't care."
He's just not entering the argument.
Yeah. So I don't want to live on a primitive planet. You're on a primitive planet now. You kill everyone. You're still going to be just looking after yourselves.
Yeah.
And then he wants to nick the TARDIS. So I'm still killing everyone.
It may be that pterodactylian society never invented the toilet. They're still chucking stuff out the windows and things like that. So pterodactyls going, "Oh, this is normal. This is fine. Yeah, this is quite high tech." We don't know.
Tarquin really liked it. Yeah, we're moving in.
Yeah. Tarquin said we should come here. It's good. Yeah.
One planet for the three of them. It's fine.
Have you seen the Mona Lisa?
So, the Doctor gets locked up. The Doctor gets handcuffed. He doesn't get the control bracelet put on him because he's a Time Lord.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be able to resist it. So Richard Mace gets a bracelet on. Him and Rose are kind of loading up the car, which Dav gets on. He's heading off. He's off to London.
With his spliff.
Yeah.
With his spliff. Yeah.
Starts on spliff.
Yeah.
Cruising down the highway.
Yeah. So we in the visual version, we're getting towards the end of episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
We should probably mention the sonic screwdriver, shouldn't we?
The sonic screwdriver gets. Yeah, I mean that was a big thing. For me. That was horrific.
Yeah.
In the Tennant era, it would be a blessed relief.
Tennant just get another one out of the console anyway.
Yeah.
Bada bing.
At least for 5 minutes, he can't get the fucking thing out and scan something and look at a display that isn't there and solve all the problems because RTD says that's better than actually writing drama.
So we get to the end of the episode, cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Where he's left in a cell with Rose is there. She's going to open a cage. Mace has got a gun in him.
Why is she going to open a cage?
Yeah, this makes no sense because it's the fleas that carry the plague, and they'd be able to just hop through the bars. So
they're all dead.
They've all got the plague anyway. So.
Yeah.
Right.
So
much.
Yes.
Yes. So that's a bit silly.
Unless it's a kind of force field cage, special
force fieldy cage thing.
Pierce cage.
Or Tennant does a quick speech about how he's got like Time Lord stuff going on around him, and that nullifies anything for anyone also around him. In a kind of hand wave explanation, like the TARDIS telepathic fields.
Yeah.
You know, the TARDIS translates for you, which I love in Mask of Mandragora, but still, it's very much a hand wave.
It's true that TARDIS crews go to an awful lot of places, and we never see any of them get the local flu and die.
No, that's very true.
Know, they should do, really. Yeah.
Or they have their rats in some kind of sealed glass box rather than a fucking wooden cage.
Or a glass box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Easier, isn't it? Yeah.
To be fair, if he's transporting these rats around, he doesn't want the fleas jumping on him, so he's probably better off putting them in a glass box. Yeah.
I think we should do both. I think we should have human companion going, hang on, it's fleas, isn't it? And why are they everywhere? And Doctor saying, "Oh, amazing Time Lord thing." And their mission base goes, "They're in a box."
Yeah,
it's a sealed box, and they go,
"It's a sealed box, man." What are you on about? Yeah, I mean, the Doctor basically one bound is free. He zaps them with a power pack, and he's able to kind of overpower them, and then they escape, which is quite lengthy in the original version. They kind of have to break out the cell.
And there's all that stuff of piloting the TARDIS back.
Yeah. There's a scene I really enjoy where the Miller turns up and then they stun him with cardboard boxes, which is fantastic. He's out.
Convenient. Empty cardboard boxes.
Empty cardboard boxes. He's done.
Yeah.
Over. Yeah. So
that where Tegan goes, "Good day."
So does Mickey bring the TARDIS to them, does he? Is he piloting the TARDIS?
I'd be inclined to say we don't have any of that. Well, maybe no, you probably would actually. It would be a comedy scene of Mickey running around the console just going bonkers trying to make it work. And the TARDIS is quietly just going there anyway and pissing about with them.
I suppose we need to deal with the robot. Maybe they should follow him to the TARDIS to deal with the robot.
That's what they should do. They should get out. Yeah.
They should get out a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And then he can
run like fuck.
He can produce another sonic screwdriver from the sonic screwdriver dispenser that the TARDIS has put in the console for him.
Yeah.
And then sort it.
And vibrates the robot to death.
As you do. Yeah.
Maybe Mickey does bring the TARDIS to them and quite proudly goes, "I flew the TARDIS." And the Doctor just goes, "No, it came here on its own, you wanker." Because he would just take any opportunity to put him down.
Yeah.
They do bully him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although what we know about the actor these days, it's hard to be sympathetic as we were.
But it is a point though. I seem to recall writing on TBI, as in a forum that we all used to frequent, that I really didn't like the Tennant Doctor in that second season. Because he kept bullying Mickey, and it was proper bullying for no reason. Paul, you mentioned before in the
the Cybermen one, the Rise of the Cybermen. They really, the pair of them are just really, really
obnoxious,
mocking him, and it's quite uncomfortable.
That was the scene I hated. That was the bit I really just thought, that's not the Doctor. And if that is the Doctor, I think he's a twat. Which was the first time I'd thought that about the Doctor.
It doesn't come across well.
So much for never cruel and never cowardly.
I broke with the wankers.
So we need to kind of juggle this in some way, but at some point, obviously, they destroy the robot, they get the TARDIS back, and then they can go to London. They can go straight to London. For that scene, which in the original version, that scene in London in Pudding Lane, I mean, it does look amazing. I assume it's a glass shot.
It does a glass shot. Yeah.
But it's on film.
It's in the Alan Road making of book.
Yeah.
They show there's a photo of the glass shot being set up and being painted on. But it's flawless. It's great.
It looks incredible. It makes you, when you get there, you kind of think, "Oh, I wish more of the story was set here." It's fantastic.
Apparently, they had one day in Ealing Studios. Not an awful lot. And the main reason they were there is they had to use fire. Where for some reason it was more controllable.
Right. They have facilities there. Yeah. I mean, it is typical of the BBC in the 70s and 80s that 17th century London. Yeah, we're not going to no problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Alien spaceship in the future, forget it.
Future, you want a bit of foil. Isn't it amazing how we're all remembering our lines from the previous one?
Yes.
Despite the fact they weren't even lines.
Yeah. And if it was actually if it was a script, nothing.
Absolutely
Weird how
nothing.
it comes back to you, isn't it? Yeah. It's like music.
Yes.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're in London basically. They're in Pudding Lane where Dav is meeting with Gav and Mav in their base.
Yeah.
They got a base there. The Doctor tracks them down by following the electrical signals.
Yes.
Points out there's nobody else giving enough electrical signals in 17th century London. Seems reasonable. So they follow them there, and we get the sort of the final fight. Really, they go in there.
Yeah.
They've taken Mace with them. He's amazed by the TARDIS. He loves it.
Yeah.
And take him on, take him out, knack him.
Yeah.
Start some fires.
I do like the bit with the pterodactyl's head bubbling as it dies.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just kind of making. Is he pinned under something? Because he's making no attempt to escape. He's just lying there, melting, with this fire around him. Oh, this is really hot. This is
the Budgie
this is so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Budgie smugglers. Well, I mean, there's the scene where, isn't there, where you see Tegan in the background kind of wafting him with the back end of a gun. Kind of,
Yeah,
she doesn't like that very much.
Beating the shit out of him.
No, that's the other one. That's the
other one. Oh, okay.
I think Richard May shoots the blue one, the Budgie one, immediately. So that's shit because it just stands there, kind of going, and then it just gets shot. And it's going, "Well, you fool! Tarkin wouldn't have done that." Tarkin was actually an adequate fighter.
Yes,
despite his artistic pretensions.
Tarquin knew his shit. Yeah, he was.
And then Tegan picks up the gun and starts spraying the shite out of the other one, the red one, which is the only one that survives.
Yeah.
The red pterodactyl.
Oh, you mean the costume, right?
Costume, yes.
I was going to say that they all died.
Story, no, it doesn't survive because Tegan's spraying the shite out of it.
Yeah.
Or Rose is, or Mickey is, or I don't know who it is. I haven't a clue.
So the fire starts. The Doctor's got his bit of circuit board. He's like, "Oh, I'll chuck that in there." He's like, take it with you." What the?
Yeah, well, yeah. Put it in the TARDIS where no one's going to see a thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You left the rest of that stuff,
And they're throwing all the plague in, aren't they? And he's just like clattering it along the ground and that. And you're thinking, because none of that's going to break on its way to the fire, is it? Releasing deadly plague everywhere.
But he knows that fire's going to consume the entire city, and it's fine.
Yeah. He's happy with thousands of people dying. That's all right. Yeah,
and isn't it? I mean, that's a thing. Watching it, I watched the last part of episode 4 again, and he's very offhand about the fact that this is this huge conflagration that thousands of people are going to die in. You wouldn't have that in a new series.
Yeah,
in a new series, it would matter.
No,
it would be a bit more hammering.
Yeah, there'd be a kind of conflict between, he could stop the fire, but that would mean that it would have to release the plague.
There'd be something like that. There'd be the emotional moment of,
Yeah. I mean, this just leaves Rich and Mace to fight it, but you think, no, it's not going to go very far.
No.
Somebody's already on the case,
Be able to do this.
I love the fact that the building practically falls on Richard Mace's head as in his final scene. There's this bit of a building fall on Richard Mace's head. They're kind of leaving.
Yeah,
it's kind of it's an odd sort of choice, but it's quite realistic in a way.
Yeah. I mean, all right, see ya. Yeah, we'll let this one go.
Yeah.
So that's it, and they're in Pudding Lane. We've kind of salvaged some of this. Oh, okay.
Ensplenment.
Shall we explain?
We should enspleen. Yes.
Rest and spleen. Well, I think the original's a perfect Doctor Who story of its era. So I think this is worse.
Yeah. I think the story's going to lose something.
It is.
Into
it's going to lose
45
loads
minutes.
of loads and loads of lovely pieces that aren't necessarily germane to the plot, but are lovely.
Yeah.
And also, it's got Tennant and Rose going, oh, lovely.
Yeah, I mean, the Tennant Rose thing isn't my favorite here. I must admit, I've enjoyed talking about this story more than I normally enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
So maybe you've turned me around a little bit. I quite,
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt to pick up the pacing. It wouldn't hurt to give some better effects on it,
Yeah.
So I think it would still work with Tennant, and he'd probably, a bit like Davison, he probably would take the slightly harsher dialogue and tone it down a little bit. Soften it. Yeah. So I can see it working quite well.
Tell him a new series, they might turn it into, you might have just a massive rant and going, look, I'm a Time Lord, and do all that sort of.
We'd probably do that, yeah.
Boring stuff. The posturing, the posing around that the 10th Doctor always did, which I always hated.
They probably would put a celebrity historical figure in there as well.
Yeah.
Peeps or someone,
I think Fuck Peeps was in the first recording.
It was in the first recording, Fuck Peeps.
We're all right for Fuck Peeps.
That's locked. Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, we've got that. Yeah, that's in the bag. You're going on with that.
So yeah, apologies to the listener if this was a slightly strange episode, but
Yeah.
Hey, I think you should be used to it by now.
Yes.
They're all
Shall we
slightly
see
strange.
what we're doing next then, lads?
All right then, come on in.
Aye. Happen.
It's John Pertwee.
Yay.
About time. In 205.
205, that sounds like an early Smith. Victory of the Daleks.
Oh. I can kind of see that, like.
Yeah.
What, his old friend Winston? Totally.
Old friend Winston,
Yes.
yeah.
That's absolutely a Third Doctor story, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely Pertwee, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be easy.
Yeah.
Cool. I quite like Victory of the Daleks.
Do you?
I don't mind it. I it's going to be very controversial, but I don't actually even mind those Daleks.
I mind the Daleks.
The only thing I really dislike about them is the fact that they go out at the back. I don't know what that's all about.
I really dislike the Spitfires flying into space and all that shit. That just makes no sense.
Doctor Who makes no sense.
Yeah.
Doctor Who usually makes a bit more sense than that. That's just not
Story
trying.
3, it's a spring that's gone wrong, right? Why would they even have springs in a machine that advanced? No. Just give up on Doctor Who making sense. You'll be a lot happier with it.
I can't.
You must.
No.
You have been listening to the Time Ram podcast. My name is Paul Ferry, and I've been joined tonight, as usual, by Rupert Booth.
Good night.
And Barry Williams.
Bienvenue.
I'd like to thank Ben Jones for providing our original music. If you want to follow us on social media, you can find us at X, formerly Twitter. Roop is at Rupert Booth. I'm at Paul38, and Baz is at Baz Time Ram. Baz and I can also be found on Tumblr. We have a website at timeram.com and a Facebook page under Time Ram Podcast. If you've enjoyed the podcast and would like to help us out, please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts from. Or you can leave us a donation on Patreon and get access to extra content such as reviews of the latest TV episodes and other exclusive special episodes. And if you think this episode's outro is a bit slicker than usual, that's because I've actually scripted it for a change. Bye bye!
He's very good, isn't he?
That's a bit boring.
Did
that
that
one.
come
It's very clean.
Yeah. Getting it
Did
right.
that come through?
Yeah.
I was just a bit sick of fannying through it. I just thought, I'll write it down. I can never remember it. It's probably more entertaining when we're just kind of arsing about like three old women.
Yeah. Is it fannying or arsing?
What's the distinction?
Well, come on.
Arsing's less sort of gender specific, I suppose, isn't it?
Suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
We've all got arses.
We haven't all got fannies.
Unless you live in America. In which case,
That's
everyone has
true.
fannies.
That's
See?
true.
So, you know.
Cultural fanny problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cultural fannies. Yeah.
yeah. Pissing about? Everyone pisses.
Everyone pisses. Yeah.
Everyone pisses. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's profound.
Direction point! Direction point!
A Doctor Who podcast network.